Hello everybody, this is a Lamley Showcase. Let's more specifically call it a Zamac update. You're looking at a whole lot of Zamacs, Walmart exclusives. I say Zamac, some people say Zamac. I actually don't even know what the proper way is to say it. But let's go with Zamac today. You were looking at the two cases I used to store my Zamacs. I'll talk about them a little bit if you aren't familiar with what they are. And then some collector and some of my favorites there. And we're going to open up three new ones. What are Zamacs? Well, a lot of you know, but Zamacs are unpainted Hot Wheels. They put the finishing touches on them, but and they put some deco on them, but the base paint that they'll use is just not there. They remove it. They did this back in I think 2004 for a special set for a convention, and I think for Walmart. And then they've been doing this for the last few years. I think since 2013, they've done 18 Zamacs a year, and they are released exclusively at U.S. Walmarts. And I started collecting them from the very beginning, and I've done it ever since for a couple reasons. Number one, I think they're very cool. These unpainted cars. Um, if you look at like this one, for example, it came in white originally, this Chevelle wagon with this deco, and then they just did this unpainted version. Now, sometimes they change the colors of the deco or do something a little different, but typically it's the same. And it's the same deco, just different colors over, and just I think what they think looks best over an unpainted body. But they'll do these. They'll release three every other assortment typically, and then they hit Walmart. So you can see, I said I like these. I think they're cool, so that's why I've collected them. Another reason is that it gives me a nice variety of current Hot Wheels castings. I don't collect everything by any means. In fact, out of a case of 72, I might literally keep one or two cars for my permanent collection. But by doing this, I have one example of a lot of current castings that I may not collect. Um, I know you can look at them now. I mean, like, of course, I collect the Torino, but like this Dodge Viper, for example, or the Chevy Silverado, maybe this Mustang or the Challenger concept. These aren't castings that I collect fully, but I know I have one example, excuse me, in my collection because I collect the Zamacs. So I'm always happy when they do variety. I'm even happy when they do some unlicensed. I hope they don't do all unlicensed, and they typically don't. But that's the reason I collect the Zamacs, and I've kind of enjoyed doing it. It's a nice variety of Hot Wheels castings, and it's kind of fun to look at. I'll do a post one of these days. Maybe I'll even do a video walking through these. I did that a while ago, but there's more and more and more, and it's becoming harder. So let's look at some of the favorites. This is from several years ago. We don't see Ferraris anymore, but this is a Ferrari that Hot Wheels did, the Ferrari F12 Berlinetta. Zamac, which is one of my favorite. I really like when they do the really plain ones. We have one of those coming up. I really like the El Camino in pink. And then, of course, they decided to go with the Golf. They took the Golf livery and went Zamac on that with the Ford GT-LM, which I thought was pretty cool. There we go. Hard time focusing there. You saw the Hearst wagon. There's even, let's see, while I don't know if I'm particularly fond of this deco on the gasser, anything gasser is hot right now, and this one actually is kind of cool. They decided to make it, if you're going to go all out, and they put the hot pink windows and the hot pink deco on it. I thought this VW was great. Showing the Nürburgring on it. I think it was white to start, blue, I think, to start. This year they did the BMW CSL, taking that classic racing livery. It's a Hot Wheels take on it with the Castrol deco on it, but they did a Zamac, which I thought was nice. And then maybe the king. I'll show you this one in a second, but I think this is the king of the Zamacs. The Batmobile last year with Ghost Flames. They obviously did it in black, and then they did a Super Treasure Hunt, but I think this supersedes the Super Treasure Hunt too. The Ghost Flames are there. You have to really look for them. This is, I think, just a quintessential Hot Wheels. In fact, I was talking to the VP of Hot Wheels of last year. I know it's a name drop, but I was, and he mentioned this was his favorite model of the year. Was this Zamac Batmobile? All right. And then, of course, I wanted to show you the Datsun 240Z with this. They did the Tom Bork livery on it. It was in white. Then they did the Zamac version. And this is actually one of the very few times there's been a variation in that if you look at the hood here, Doe Racing, Toyo tires. They also did one, which was kind of rare, with the red Toyo tires on it. So there is a variation. I think this was a holdover. You can even see that had the blue spoiler. This is a holdover from the white version, and then they did the regular version. I think there's even another variation on top of that with and without the blue spoiler. All right. So there's my whole explanation of Zamacs in 5 minutes. These are the ones I wanted to show you. These is the brand new batch out from at Walmart's right now. A lot of you have found it. I found this set, and I'm going to go ahead and open them up because I think there's two really, really good Zamacs in here. There's been some really good ones. I showed you the BMW. We've seen some others. But let's go ahead and walk through these. I think these are pretty sweet. This is the 32 Ford. We've seen it in red and we've seen it in blue, but the Zamac just takes it with the black wheels and the black flames. Just simple, simple, simple. Let's go ahead and open that one up. I think this is what I love about the Zamacs is when they take a model that maybe I don't typically care about that much. There you can see the Zamac logo on it. And make it just must have. So there you go. I'm going to go ahead and we might as well put our little display out here and let this one roll. I mean, you can see it's just the black, it's just it's a perfect execution. I don't know, anyway. Big fan of that one. All right, and now we're going to look at Ford Shelby GT350R. See, this one, I think, this one adds to the variety. I actually kept the first two versions of this casting from last year, one in blue and one in red, because it was more stock, but I did not collect. There's a white version with this deco on it. These kind of overly done stripes and stuff aren't my thing, so I typically don't collect it, but here's a version in Zamac that's going to go into the collection. There's the artwork. Ford Performance. Let the 32 Ford twirl a little bit. There's the card. And there's the Mustang. The casting's fantastic. Same size wheels and such. I just am not particularly fond of the deco. Let that one roll around. But they do the right. I think the neon green's kind of cool looking on it. All right. Now I said I really like when I showed you the Ferrari, I really like the plain where it's just no stripes, no deco, no nothing. Just headlights maybe, just the standard deco. I showed you with that Ferrari F12. They've done it a couple other times. They did it on a Tesla, they did it on a Lamborghini Aventador J, and they did it, I'm forgetting one more. It's probably sitting right in front of me too, and I'm not thinking of it. Anyway, I'll try and remember what that is later. But they've done it again with this one. This is, sorry, there's the focus. Porsche 993 GT2. Always a collector favorite, and I love this Zamac. I love that they did the gold lace wheels on it. If you remember, the original version of this was in orange. Original this year was in orange with the little license plates on it. That's it. And then, of course, the headlights are already built into the casting, and they did a little bit of deco on the top hood. That's it. But this is just an awesome, awesome car. Let's open it up. Even the artwork is pretty sweet. And there you go. So I will put that Porsche and the 32 Ford. That's why I wanted to open this batch. The Porsche and the 32 Ford into that kind of echelon of the best Zamacs that Hot Wheels has done. There's a lot, and you guys will have your own. I know probably a lot of you collect the Zamacs, and let me know in the comments what your favorites are. It might be fun one day to rank the top 5. These will both have a very good chance of being in there, I think. I think they're both pretty cool. There's a couple coming. The Datsun wagon, this JNC Surf Patrol is going Zamac. There's a couple other really good ones coming that I have heard rumors about. So, but for now, I think this Porsche is as cool as it comes, as is the 32 Ford. We've been talking 10 minutes about Zamacs. Time to shut it down. Talk to you later, guys. Bye.